Test. Okay, everything seems to work. Hello. Welcome back to my stream. It is I, your humble host Sketchy. We are back with Reverse 1999 to start the week. And we'll be continuing the side content for chapter 6. Is it 6? It is 6. Right, it is 6. We were doing the backstory for Isolde, which was kind of intriguing, at least for me. Don't know about everyone else. Where was it? Ah, there it is. We went through the half of it, effectively. Well, maybe less than a half. I'll try my best to finish this today. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's jump straight into part 4, I suppose. By the way, if you notice that my voice sounds a little bit different or weird, that's probably because I played around with tuning my microphone during the weekend. So I'm hopeful that it will sound better and clearer now. If anything sounds weird, please let me know. I count on this being an improvement overall. We'll see how it goes doing the playthrough. Okay.
This is...
Hello, excuse me, what is this place? A timid face appears in the dark, bewildered and uneasy. Its owner wipes her hands on her dress, where there once was an apron. Me? My name is Anna. I'm a waitress at Cafe Central. Have we met? I'm guessing that she's having a seance. She's channeling some spirits, I'm guessing. Let me adjust the volume a little bit. This sounds better. Okay. Oh, I see. Sorry. I was just at the cafe, working my shift. The manager told me to walk slower so I wouldn't kick the customer's chair legs again. And then everything went dark. And I found myself in this very room. Huh. So I'm guessing that she died that day, but how? This is strange. Stranger than a novel. I was hoping you could tell me what happened. Explain things to me. She paces around, looking anxious. What's this? One of her shoes hits something firm. She crouches down curiously. Oh, it's a painting? No, a door. How strange that it's on the floor. Actually, it looks like the door to the Cafe Central. Something's written on it. It's too dark in here, I can't see. Maybe I can feel it with my fingers, She stops and furrows her eyebrows. She runs her fingers across the door plate a few more times. The name carved on it kisses the tips of her fingers. A sweet bitterness fills her heart. Theophil? Mr. Theophil? Did he play a part in the kidnapping? But why would an artist be involved in such a horrible act? She mumbles to herself, her eyes rolling in the dark. She's looking for an excuse to forgive. Or perhaps he wants me to be his model. I'd gladly agree to it, of course. He's so handsome and kind, and my goodness, he can paint. Any girl would agree to be his model. He wouldn't need to abduct me for that. So was she abducted? During her shift, or what? A fragment of a memory comes back to her, but it's vague, shrouded in a white haze. Oh, I think I remember. Before everything went dark, Mr. Theophil had ordered another Franzi scanner. Is that how you pronounce it? Jesus Christ. Franzi scanner? I had it on my tray, and then I passed out before I reached his table. Until then, it was a perfectly ordinary day. The warm color of love fades from her face. Mr. Theophil looked as handsome as ever. He ordered his usual. Even Mr. Heinrich was wearing the same brown blazer. No, that's not right. Something was different that day. Yes, that was the day she first met her. That was the beginning of everything. Huh? Huh? She looks at you. Trance-like, the door opens beneath her palm.
Oh, yes.
An insightful idea, miss. I've never heard of such a perspective on how to treat mental illness. I'm very impressed. The cream has long since melted into the Franzi scanner, and this conversation is much more interesting than the beverages on the table. See, I told you, Theophil. I knew you two would get along. How could you not adore such a lovable and talkative lady? Who is he introducing to him? I would guess Kakania, considering they were all in the same group later on. The amazing Clara. We've met at an auction. She has a superb taste in the arts. Heinrich's bouts of excessive enthusiasm are a lovable weakness of his. Rather than annoy, it endears his friends to him. He sweeps up a friend's cup and takes a huge gulp. Oh, by the way, Theophil, where's your sister? You said she'd be here today. I thought she'd agree to come down to the cafe. Yes. She should arrive by now. Perhaps she's been delayed by her on her way over here. After the huge success of her debut, my little sister is the new star of Vienna. She's positively swarmed by her admirers on the streets. It's all very sweet, but you can imagine it can be quite troublesome.
Here's your coffee.
Here, sir, here's your coffee. Okay, so... I don't remember, was Clara the real name of Kakania or not? Or am I misremembering this? Let me check something. Yeah, it was the name of Kakania. I remembered that correctly, right. Okay, continuing then. So, here's your coffee. The waiter slightly places it on the table. One Vienna iced coffee and a Maria Teresa. Enjoy. Her gaze lingers on Theophil, an eager smile upon her face. Her light brown hair is carefully tied in a curly ponytail. Thank you, Hannah. Your smile always brightens up a long afternoon. You flatter me again, sir. She blushes and hurriedly looks aside. This is not the first time her dear Theophil has been so sweet to her. Is he just being nice to her, or is there something there?
Sure.
How is Vienna iced coffee different than a Bahamas hot coffee? Do you know, I was never big on iced coffees. I couldn't tell you, honestly, not from experience at the very least. I like my coffees hot, piping hot. Also overly sweet. Would you like a cake on the side? It's on the house. And she's feeding him cake. That's cute. I remember you said you liked the particular lemon aroma of it. My mother grew those lemons. She brought me some more when she last visited. Would you?
Isolde!
Over here. Oh, it's Isolde, my dear girl. When was it that we last met? It feels like eons. It was about 1.5 months ago. Ah, how unforgivably long. Do you remember when we were younger? We saw each other every week. Oh. Her voice is lost among the chatter. She quietly looks at her sweet Theophil as she gets on his feet and walks up to his sister. And she is forgotten immediately. So I'm guessing there is nothing there beyond her infatuation with Theophil. Okay. He has completely forgotten about the lemons, or rather, he never cared about them in the first place. Harsh. Why do you think Isolde is still that little girl who followed you around? Ah, excuse me, I've read that wrong. Why? Do you think Isolde is still that little girl who followed you around? I'm afraid you are terribly mistaken, my friend. She is the biggest star of Vienna, and the biggest, and the best and most stunning salon of all time. Her admirers fill the streets, and her work has shaken the art world to its very core. Putting both his hands on her shoulders, he basks in his pride for his sister. And all at the ripe old age of 16, no less. She's not some unknown actress taking minor role after minor role. Nor is she one of those poets who end their miserable lives by plunging themselves into a river. No. It won't be long before she becomes the sovereign of Peter. Yeah, about that. She's going to be famous, that's for sure, but for all the wrong reasons eventually. My point is, Mr. Henrik, that it's very difficult to see her these days. But if you can make her brother's life a little sweeter... Oh, Theophil, you crafty fellow. Heinrich gently punches his arm. Theophil giggles as he pulls himself away from his fist. The cafe is filled with the youthful laughter. Theophil is not yet 20. He looks young, sweet and happy. As free as the wind. Right, he would be like 19 in this time frame if Isolde is 16? Or 17? He said it a second ago, but I didn't pay attention. I think she is 16 here. Anyway. Hannah moves her lips, nervously rubbing her hands on her apron as she tries to come up with more words to get his attention. Girl, it's not the time. You are not going to achieve anything here. She notices that Isolde is looking at her and lightly shaking her head. Isolde playing the wingman. The winged woman, rather.
Yeah.
Thank you, but I don't feel like having a drink. It was her. Her. How could I forget? How could I forget her? Oh, what a terrible, terrible future. Did I hit my head? Or was it my neck? Or my legs? My waist? No, 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 no. Small beads of sweat glisten on the tip of her nose. She checks on her neck, her back, and her limbs, making sure that they are still attached to her body. Eventually, her hands stop at her neck. It was here, yes. Clutching her neck with both hands, she crouches down on the floor. So much pain. There was... Why? Why did it have to be me? Why not Teresa or Gregor? Not all who were trampled that day died. Nor those who fell to the floor. And those who were pushed in front of the guns. They had a quick and painless death at least. Why me? Why only me?
Why? Why?
Why was I the only one who fell down the stairs? Why was I the only one who screamed in agony? Why was I the only one who suffered a broken neck? Right, so it was an accident, effectively, that took the girl. One of the reasons that climate change is confirmed is because those old-fashioned dresses, is it? People used to wear those without catching fire back when temperatures were livable. I don't see the connection, honestly. Are you saying that it will be impossible nowadays to wear something like that? And that's why the climate change is real? It shouldn't have happened. None of this should have happened. The road shouldn't have been covered in sharp gravel. Those creatures in black, with their dark smile dripping all over. They started that demonstration. Huh? Oh, Manus Vindictae people. Right, that would make sense. It was those creatures. Monsters. Hannah dropped her head, tears streamed down her cheeks, dripping on her palms, and pulling on the door beneath her feet. The door is now tightly shut. The door to the cafe with Theophil's name on it. On the other side, Cupid and Psyche convene. It was the circle. It was the speech.
It's them.
It was they who were responsible. Were they? The puddle of tears beneath her feet confronts her with her own reflection. Her reflected face morphs into someone else's. Isolde. Right.
The famous opera singer with a touch of sorrow. The daughter of that mirror peddler. They killed me.
Huh? Really? So she blames the organization called the Circle and Isolde specifically?
Greetings. I'm Clara Wengler.
Oh, okay. So this is Kakania being introduced to Theophil, I'm guessing. For a moment I thought it was you doing the voice. I wish I had that wide of a range. Unfortunately, not yet. It's a work in progress. When the voice lines are fully voiced, I'm letting the professional voice actors do their thing, and I'm being quiet for the time. I'm still getting weirded out how only some certain sentences are fully voiced in those side events. It's sometimes hard to pinpoint when I'm supposed to make my own voice acting and when I'm supposed to be quiet. Sometimes they only voice act part of a sentence, which is quite weird. You just need practice, hopefully. I think I'm getting slowly better. At the very least, I'm not as awful as I was at the very start. I remember my first stream of Arknights, the OG one, when I was voice acting everything. I was stumbling upon my words constantly, and I was not even doing any separate voices for the characters. It was pretty dog water, I will admit it. Hello, I'm Clara Wingler. Perhaps you've heard of the Ringler's Mirror. That's an invention of my family. Say, in Polonia they do fan dubbing too. To an extent, it's more popular for animes. And in Poland, there is this tradition of doing so-called narrator dubbings, where a single person does dubbing for the entire thing with the original audio in the background, just tuned down. So it's quite similar to how I did my voice acting at the very start, just more professional in the case of those dubbings. So it's very different to what considered a standard dubbing. Those are called lector dubbings. You could get a fan group and start a business. I'm nowhere near good enough for that, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I wish I could, but I would need tons of more practice and actual training in that field to even consider such a thing, I think. From the other side of the table, the lady in the green dress extends a white-gloved hand. She's leaning forward so far that she is no longer sitting in her chair. This may appear to be too eager, but the smile on her face is sincere. Right, because Clara's father was a mirror peddler. Now I recall that vaguely.
Isolde!
Heinrich told me a lot about you and your brother. I'm most glad that we've finally had a chance to meet.
The honor is mine.
I'm Isolde.
Isolde takes her hand.
Nice to meet you.
It's a privilege to make your acquaintances.
That's the start of their toxic Yuri relationship. I start sweating just by looking at those hats. Me too, my dude. It's starting to get heat wavy again in Poland, so I'm dreading the upcoming days as well. Was no picnic last week either, but it's supposedly getting worse in the upcoming week, from what I recall. Okay, that's another part done. Now for the part 5. Grey eyes of Humst.
Oh, yes.
Ah, yes. Yes, she's Salome. She's mine. My Salome, my muse.
Salome, my muse.
Oh, they pronounce it Salome. Fair enough. I stand corrected. Who was that speaking, though? Ooh, we are getting an animation. Cool. Well, that was a short interjection.
That's awesome.
Really nice. Brava! Applause. Brava, fantastic, truly fantastic. Another applause. Cliché, boring. They are merely spectators, distant observers. Their understanding of her is shallow, of course it is. The concept of a seance performance has captivated the minds of the people. The hall is filled to the rafters with a crowd eager to see the horrific death descend on this beautiful singer with their own eyes. Right.
Look at this.
Ah, this can't possibly be a real performance. Some lower their voices, whispering in the silences between the cheers and applause. One cannot deny that she has become the character. But surely this is some sort of a fraud. That voice is not her voice. The dance is not her dance. Not even her expressions are her own. I mean, isn't that the essence of acting? That's the ultimate roleplay, effectively. Is it not? She's not performing, she's just using that freakish power of hers. This is witchcraft insanity, I tell you. Someone's jealous? Praise, slander, their so-called fair judgments all are like raging fire, a freezing gust. They gaze at her face and the movement of her body and listen to her sing. But never do they think about not to try to understand who she is after the curtain falls. They only see her performance, the spirit channeling through her. No one has ever seen her true self. Because they are not interested in her, they are interested in the personas that she's channeling. No one but me. Yes, only me. I look at her and I see her. Not those spirits, but herself. I understand her. I am loyal to her, now and forever. She is my love and my muse. Who is it speaking? That Manus Vindicta dude or whomst? What was his name again? That blonde guy in this bronze vest of his. Keep forgetting his name. Oh, be careful, Mrs. Clara. The rain has just stopped. Isolde walks out of the cafe with her friend. Ah yes, friend. You could say they were roommates.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, I'm used to cleaning the stains of my skirt and shoes. Although, it is good to be careful. I don't want to have to wash them every time it rains. It would consume far too much of my study time. The girl in green winks at Isolde. Her eyes sparkle behind her round glasses. She hoists up her skirt, takes a half step back and deftly leaps over the puddle in front of her. You know, I've never thought of simply jumping over the puddles. Isn't it a little too eye-catching?
No, I think...
Well, maybe so. They link arms as they walk together. The distance between them is close to zero. As I was saying, toxic Yuri. There are two new best friends, in quotation marks. Especially when we are strolling arm in arm like this. A synchronized leap would look rather odd.
Yes.
But it makes a lot of sense when you are running. Of course, if you are running down the street, a jump will make you no more eye-catching than you already are. But if you are in a hurry, you'll be leaving the sight of others before you even notice that they are staring at you. Ah, like when you ran out of Mrs. Holmberg's window. Huh? Yes, just like... what? She covers her mouth with one hand, her eyes wide with surprise.
Isolde.
How did you know that? I thought no one living on that street knew me. You should pay better attention to your surroundings. Isolde chuckles and looks to the other side of the street. Anyway, you are right that you'd quickly leave the pebble behind. I've misread that. Anyway, you are right that you'd quickly leave the people behind. But they'd still have their eyes fixed on you until you were out of their sight. And it wouldn't end there. Their curiosity would only continue to grow. Who is she? Where's she gone? Before you know it, the seeds of mystery will have blossomed in every corner of Vienna. She looks back at Kakania and reaches out a hand to tuck a stray hair away from her face. Right.
Yeah.
Not to mention that there's no other witch who would ever jump out of the window of a noble lady's room but you. Okay. That was a lovely day. The sun shone brightly once the rain stopped. And that was the day she first recognized my existence. The woman in grey closes the notebook in her hand and steps out of the shadows. I'm a playwright. Please address me as such. Huh? Who is she channeling this time? Please, you must call me by this title. I implore you. The playwright stands in front of you. Now that she is closer, you can feel the nip in the air. A layer of grey fog envelops her, coloring the hem of her skirt grey too. Water is dripping from her clothes, forming a puddle on the ground.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes, my clothes are soaked. I'm soaked. It's a long story. Of course it is, she must be sweating like a pig. Yeah, completely hang on this dress, aren't you? I mean, it was the dress of choice for the time, so hey, who are we to criticize it? We have our own oddities in our time. Let's be honest. It was the fashion trend for the time. Honestly, the dresses were only half of the problem. The real problem was that waistline created by the corsets. Those things are basically nightmare incarnate. They were disfiguring young girls left and right to get that hourglass figure that was completely unnatural. They were the real problem. Not to mention that they were exaggerating the heat as well. but also great to have the back straight. See, about that, it was it was disfiguring the back, the spine, namely, as well. It was not keeping it straight, it was keeping it in an unnatural angle for extended period of time, and without the corset on, it was causing tremendous pain, from what I've read. It was caving, kind of, because it was always slightly like this. So imagine having your back formed like this constantly, permanently, effectively. After some time, it was causing medical problems. That sounds just dumb? Yes. Many fashion trends of the past were, and still are, honestly. Think for a second about high heels of today. They are so ridiculous that a woman's foot is in a position where she touches the ground basically only with her fingers. And it's not healthy at all, either. But girls swear by boots like that. For what reason? They claim that it's for their own indulgence, but I'm not a woman, so what do I know? Even a caveman could notice that you don't do that with spines, and they don't use wear them 24 hours, but they wear them for extended periods of time still. Yes, I know that you are referring to the heels. Imagine standing on your fingers for like 8 hours a day, something close to it. For example, for the whole work day. That has to be horrible for your feet. Right, where were we?
Oh yes, my clothes are soaked. I'm soaked. It's a long story. And an unimportant one, or rather, the least important. No, we must start with the most essential part of the tale. Here, hold my hands. She reaches out her hands to you. They are icy cold to the touch.
Yes.
Allow me to introduce you to my father first. No, this isn't the beginning of the story, just an appropriate character to introduce it with. Schmiller Topaz Schmiller was a man with black hair and grey eyes. His father was a cloth merchant, and his grandfather owned a small farm. Having grown up in a financially sound environment, he didn't have to worry about feeding and clothing himself. This gave him the chance to come into contact with art and beauty. Thus, he became a gentleman. He was polite, read poetry, visited exhibitions, appreciated paintings, and watched opera. This was his favorite. He was deeply moved by the art form and attended the theater regularly. Later, he married my mother, a lesser-known opera singer. She wasn't famous and generally played supporting roles. A year after that, I was born.
No, it's not.
Family? No. I wouldn't call us a family. Or more specifically, I wouldn't count my father as a family member. Unfortunate. He rarely spent time with us, nor did he have any kind of real job. He was far too busy writing poems and melodies. Despite that, he never managed to complete a piece, just as he never managed to return home. It was my grandfather who took care of me and my mother. I suffered no hardships. I lived a similar childhood to my father.
Certainly.
I received an education, was exposed to art, and was loved by my mother and grandfather just as he was.
Oh, yes.
I lived a life of calm, stability, and happiness, and as a result, I came to understand him less and less. Why would he choose to leave such a warm, loving family to live in a riverside cabin all by himself? What did grandfather mean by meaningless obsession when they were quarreling? She gives a slight frown as she looks up at the ceiling. The distance between us fed the confusion and disdain in my heart. At the age of 15, I realized that his face had become faint to me. It was blurred, like a wrinkled handwritten letter with tear-smudged ink. Her grey eyes look cold and hard, like pebbles at the bottom of a river. I was terrified. I knew we weren't close, but I didn't want to be a bad daughter who couldn't even remember her father's face. So I tried and tried. I tried my best to recall him. After a quick blink, she narrows her eyes. But as it turned out, my efforts were unnecessary. 3 days after I started trying in earnest, my father ran out of his cabin, screaming and crying, and jumped into the river. It was midwinter. He was fished out, dead.
Okay. That's dramatic.
Mother fainted when she heard the news. Grandfather fell ill and was bedridden. So I took a carriage to the river by myself. That was the first time I saw my father completely clearly. I realized that there was no need for me to worry about being a bad daughter. After confirming the identity of the body, I went to his cabin with the patrol. They helped me stack his things in the carriage and handed me a notebook. This proves that your father committed suicide, they said. I read it, of course. She clenches the notebook in her hand. Her previously wandering gaze fixes on you. Then I finally knew where he went when he wasn't home. He went to the Vienna State Opera, to Wake Drenner's Park, to Der Graben. But he wasn't there for shopping or sightseeing, he was there for her, for Evangeline.
Oh, right. If I remember correctly, Evangeline was Isolde's mother, right?
She was the only thing on his mind. He praised her. He missed her. He began stalking her.
Down.
He followed her from the moment she left her house until the moment she returned home. He even bribed her doctor to give him first-hand information on her health.
Yeah, it was mentioned before in previous parts that she had an obsessive fan.
The burning passion in these scrolls suppressed all the poems and melodies he ever written, you know? Simply reading those words scalded me. They were hot, stifling, so much so that they almost killed me. I was trembling in fear, but I didn't know what I was scared of, so I kept reading in the freezing wind by the river, one page after another, until I've read every word. She talks faster and faster, affronting enthusiasm taking over her body. She almost swallows her tongue in her eagerness to recount the tale. The last page was moist. Can you imagine? It was smudged by tears, just as my father's face was in my memory. Who is this person with curly black hair, a pale face, and a body as delicate as a champagne flute? What kind of person is a woman with a perfect and indisputable charisma?
Oh, Oh, yes.
I was desperate to find out. Before I could realize what I was doing, I started running. I ran and ran until I arrived at the doors of the opera house. I had run so fast that there was a sweat on my brow. Even that on that cold winter day, I've asked about Evangeline's performance, only to find that she had retired in order to recuperate from her illness. The playwright calms herself. Her breathing softens as if she hadn't said a word.
Oh, poor
Several
little
years
thing.
later, in mid-June, I've heard that Evangeline drowned in the beautiful pond in her garden. She gives you a gentle smile. We were told that this was a suicide as well, but I'm not entirely sure about that.
Oh, yes.
You see, it was time she followed in my father's footsteps. Huh? I've never met her. I've never had a chance to meet her. Let alone hear the singing that had driven my father mad. Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't say this out of regret. She grips your hands even tighter. It is impossible to pull away. Because Isolde, her daughter, had her debut half a month after her mother's death. I was there, just as my father had been at every one of Evangeline's performances. I witnessed her rendition of the Dance of the Seven Veils, and how she enraptured the whole of Vienna. In my father's notes, I have glimpsed the first sign of her existence in the swollen ovaries of a rabbit. I know when she took her first step, how painful her night seizures were, even the amount of calming syrup she took.
Oh, yes.
I'm my father's daughter, and she's Evangeline's. How beautiful fate is, how it binds us together. Interesting. So, in short, the history of Isolde, her mother Evangeline, and the fans is that of obsessions, unhealthy ones, effectively. You mean this is your original script? The leader of the opera troupe looks up from the thick manuscript on the table, a stiff expression on his face.
Yes.
Yes, sir. This is an original created by me. Miss Schmiller, I very much appreciate your hard work and persistence. Your grandfather contacted me and told me how passionate you are about playwriting. There's no doubt that you've put in great effort. I can see that you've wholly devoted to your craft, which is certainly a necessary quality for a playwright. But I'm sensing a but in there. Probably she's not all that good, I'm guessing. And you are the granddaughter of my good friend. I've ever attended your debutante ball. So, as much as it pains me to disappoint you. Yeah, this is a mistranslation. He closes his eyes. When he opens them again, there is an apologetic look on his face. We cannot accept your script, my child. Why? It's much too risky. The story, that is. What is it? I understand that many stories are inspired by true events, but yours is simply far too obvious. So, did she write a story about Isolde or her mother? In some capacity? Rosalie, the pretty and gentle heroine from a noble family, becomes popular after playing Salome. Her mother murders her father, her brother burns himself to death,
Yet she herself is sociable and surrounded by many friends. Wait a second. Does that not exactly describe Isolde's backstory, effectively? Together, they create an organization called the Square. Really? Based in Cafe Central. Every day they talk about poems, share their thoughts and ideas. Right, very subtle indeed. Alrighty then. His voice gets lower and lower. Beads of sweat starts to form on his forehead. Later, after Rosalie's father dies, her tutor shows his desire for her. He claims to be her godfather. He longs for Rosalie so strongly that he threatens her with his power. Even worse, he plans to murder her best friend Maggie. Exactly, sir. This evil man manipulates Rosalie into dancing for him in a veil.
Oh,
How delicate,
poor
how
little
kind, how
thing.
pitiful she is. She's never hurt a soul. She's always kind-hearted, and her gentle nature evokes empathy from everyone. She's sure to stir compassion within audience hearts. And in the most crucial scene, the hero arrives, pulling her out of the darkness. He enters a beacon of shining light, bringing salvation, happiness to Rosalie, and slaying Cameron the devil. The playwright shoots to her feet, knocking over the chair she was sitting on.
Perfect.
Isn't it a wonderful place, sir? Why are you turning it down? Is it because of the buyout fee? I won't charge you much. As long as Isolde stars in it, everything is negotiable. So, the playwright got obsessed with Isolde just like her father got obsessed with Isolde's mother. Okay. No, I mean to say... The leader mops his sweaty brow. The characters are too familiar to us. Any audience member with a modicum of knowledge would know they are based on Miss Isolde, her brother Theophile, and their parents, and Mr. Carl. Right. Although Mr. and Mrs. Dittersdorf are no longer living, and Mr. Theophile, whenever he might be, isn't the sort of to criticize a piece of art, Mr. Carl will not at all be happy about it. Well, I bet. He'd never allow us to put it on. It's absolutely slanderous. But is it though? He is kind of sus. He was manipulating Isolde from very early years, basically grooming her through the tutoring sessions.
Down.
No, it's not. I saw it all. He was reaching for Isolde's waist. That filthy toad. What are you so afraid of? Okay. Maybe she was onto something. It didn't end well. I've returned home with my script in hand.
Down.
That donkey has no appreciation for art. He even accused me of being an untalented writer. How dare he say that I'm merely repeating the facts, and that it's just an ersatz copy of Salome.
Oh,
I'm a
poor
playwright.
little thing.
You address me as such, do you not? How could I possibly hand over a manuscript as terrible as he said? Oh, and he even said that Mr. Cole is a kind gentleman. Ha! Preposterous. I was always by Mrs. Isolde's side. No one knew her better than I. I knew her friends,
her family, and all about that damnable old man.
Right, Isolde became her Oshi, and she was obsessing over her. Sounds like a typical parasocial relationship.
And he was just as I described in the script. She too was as I described, young, beautiful, and fragile as a daffodil.
Oh, she's the best.
Even aging couldn't befall her. That family curse has ensured that nobody in her family has lived past the age of 40.
Wow. And that's something to be proud of, in your mind?
We are all familiar with the events that followed. Theophil set himself on fire, and Isolde became fragile and pain-filled. She eventually received shock therapy in full view of the public.
Yeah, we've seen that one.
She was trembling. The pain looked excruciating. I've never seen her like that. I wanted to scream. I wanted to stand up and yell at Schwartz to stop the torture. I wanted to, but I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything.
She releases your hands.
Oh, yeah.
But then I did it. I stood up. Scolded him. I ordered him to stop using that barbaric treatment.
She clasps her hands together.
Soon after, I raced a duel against him and won. I killed Schwartz.
Ah, really? We know that Kakanya also dueled Schwartz, or rather was supposed to duel him, but that never came into fruition. So the titular playwright also had to challenge him later and succeed in getting his ass, apparently. Okay. Second. Okay. Anyway. Let's continue.
Soon after, I raced a duel against him and won. I killed Schwartz.
Perfect.
You see, that's when I realized it was I who was the her hero. My script was always correct. We became close friends after that.
Did that really happen? Because we know for a fact that that didn't happen. None of this happened. This sounds like delusions. Interesting.
There's no more Maggie. We lived happily ever after.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure this might sound a little different from the story you know, but you have to understand.
No.
You and I are
not.
different. There are clairvoyants in my family. My father had prophetic dreams, and so did I. Some say that it's a hereditary mental disorder, but that's not true.
Oh, okay, so it runs in the family that she was delusional. Splendid.
In my father's notebook, on a drenched page, he wrote, "This world is a false one," because he had seen the true one, and the one where Evangeline is still on the stage, performing. He set off to find that world.
What the hell was wrong with Vienna in that time frame? So many people with mental disorders. Isolde, the playwright, Isolde's family, playwright's family, to one extent other people in that chapter. Everyone seemed to have, to some extent, some kind of mental problems. Hmm. The playwright looks down and holds out the notebook to you. It's grey and soaked. Water drips from its surface. Second.
I went to that river again, but it was buried. Where the river once was, a railroad was built, bringing countless travelers to the city. I lay on the tracks and then I heard a rumbling sound. I lay on them.
Her hand does not waver. She's still trying to pass you the notebook.
My Salome, my muse.
Right, so she ended herself as well. The smell of river water fills the air. You see the playwright's mouth moving, but no sound can be heard. Hands shaking, she drops the notebook and grasps her neck. Another voice replaces hers, squeezing out through her throat. You recognize the voice.
What a sickly little story. How on earth did you make it to the end? Honestly, I deserve a peppermint for cutting her off for you. Don't you think you owe me a thank you?
She hops over to the table and sits on it.
How
But those artists, no, those so-called artists, are always over-exaggerating to make their stories more dramatic.
is that so?
A muse should be kind, good-looking, and fragile. And my little sister, of course, is more beautiful than a rose and more valuable than a diamond. She claimed that no one saw the real result, but did she? Did she see the real her?
Krista stretches out a hand and points into the darkness.
What do you think?
What can you see when you peer through the cracks around the edges of the door?
And gotta check something. Never mind, okay. Things seems to work.
What can you see when you peer through the cracks around the edges of a door? The faster you run, the more curious people become, and the harder they pursue you. Don't you think this is all too mushy? Heroes and beauties, salvation and light. Is this really the story?
Krista's hand pulls you near.
Look, I don't want you to miss this truly dramatic scene.
You look back, the grey door is still cloaked in darkness. In front of it, a grey eye, wet and hard like a pebble at the bottom of a river, is gazing at you. Okay, that's another part done. Yeah, about halfway in. She wanted to jump on my lap, but misjudged the jump. Okay, never mind. Fine. Okay, before we continue, I'll take a short bathroom break, so be right back, and we'll be continuing the story. And I'm back. Okay. Continuing. At 6 it is. By the curtains.
Mother, I'm home. Mother? That's strange. Has she not come home yet? She should have arrived an hour before me.
The huge main mansion is empty. Mr. Didastorf has sent most of the servants to the farm in the countryside to harvest currants and raspberries. The fruits need to be harvested in time for the ball in July.
Maggie.
Wait, they pronounce it Maggie, I think.
Maggie. Is Maggie not home either? Oh, look at me. I've been far too busy with rehearsals these days. I'm almost as forgetful as my mother. Maggie took leave to visit her ill mother back in her hometown. Of course she isn't home.
She murmurs, lifts her skirt and makes her way to the sideboard.
Phil must have taken that pretty girl, Mia, out with him. She's his new model, so she spends little time at home these days. That leaves the dark-haired Anneli and the lively Agnes. Yes, that's right. They are the only ones here.
John opens a drawer, takes out some food and looks out the window into the garden.
Maggie's away. The bunnies must be hungry. Come out, upper strudel. Yes. Here comes your food.
The little bunny licks her fingertip. Her fur is soft and fine. It is yet to be replaced by a coarse hair of adulthood. You've accompanied me and Mother for so long, and you've stabilized her condition. Yet still you go hungry, poor little things.
It's alright.
Don't worry, I'll be here for you. Although, I will be busy with performances, so it may be tricky to find the time. The last rehearsal went splendidly, you know. The singing and dancing, the stage settings, everything was perfect. Heinrich, a friend of mine, has devised many clever tricks for the stage design. Everyone's been telling me that my debut will be fantastic, everyone. Mother will be so glad to hear it. But she's not in the living room or the garden. Where could she be? What's that voice?
She sets down the bunnies, letting them hop freely in the garden.
Yeah.
That's Mother's singing voice.
She re-enters the house and follows the voice through the lounge, down the corridor, up the stairs, and to her parents' bedroom door. This door, which has always been shut, is now open. She feels the wind blowing through it.
Slumber, slumber, oh my darling baby.
It has been forever since Evangeline last sang. Vienna has all but forgotten her voice. Interesting that in that picture frame she has short hair, but in this image she has long hair. She sings a strange and unfamiliar lullaby, one that has been dug up from the depths of her throat. Her voice is smooth and clear, like a flowing spring or the glimmering brass needle in her hand that has been driven into Mr. Ditarov's temple. I beg your pardon? Did she kill her husband as well? It was designed to look like a dagger, and now it's serving its as a real one. Oh, okay. Isolde's mother pulls the needle from her father's skull, blood sprays Evangeline's face and soaks the bedsheets. It drips down and pools on the floor. Okay, so finally insanity grasped her fully. And from what we've learned, she ended herself shortly after. Okay. She's still a superb singer, even in this moment.
Mother?
Like a child awakening from a dream, Evangeline trembles and turns her head to see her daughter standing in the doorway.
My Trista, is that you?
Right, she's completely gone.
Oh, my dear Trista, Mama's missed you so much.
Her rosy cheeks glimmer with happiness. She looks like a young girl again. In this moment, Isolde's mother is like her daughter. And she is more like a What? Isolde's mother is like her daughter and she is more like a mother. Right.
Come and see. Your father and I, and Anneli and Agnes, are all ready to join you. Oh, my dear Trista, how stupid I was. Just like my mother always said. I thought about it over and over again, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand it until now. You were right. You were right from the beginning.
Evangeline regains the visage of a mother. Even her red dress looks heavier on her. She gently moves her husband's head from her lap to the bed and adjusts his body to a comfortable lying position. Are the butterflies big or small? Hard to say, honestly. From this perspective, they look weird. I think this is supposed to look more symbolic than anything. That would be my guess. She gets off the bed, steps over Agnes and Anneli's bodies, and wraps her arms tightly around Isolde. Oh, so she also killed the seventh staff? Well, she was going for a high score apparently.
Well done.
You've always been my smartest, most talented child, my cheerful, clever, unique little angel.
Keep in mind.
The world has always been nothing but a jester revolving around you. And you, the giggling queen. The blood on Evangeline's hands has dried into a powder. It drifts into the air as she moves. The powder surrounds Isolde and clings to her skin. It immediately causes a rash where it lands, making her itch and burn. Huh? She raises her head. Wind rattles through the window and into the room. She sees the wavering treetops outside and smells the sweet June flowers. So, this is what Father was afraid of. Yes, and he should have been afraid. The smell of blood is so strong here that, were it to escape through the window, it would make any passerby crinkle their nose. And then people would find out what had happened. The scandal will draw everyone's attention, yes, even knowing that he may one day be a victim of mother's hysteria. He considered the reputation of the family above his own life.
Well, the writing was kind of on the wall, considering how disconnected from reality Isolde's mother was at times. Isolde murmurs to herself, ignoring the rashes on her skin and her mother's embrace. She feels blood in her nose and that squeezing pain in her lower abdomen, just like that night when she was 6.
Close the window! Close the window! Close the window!
She's channeling someone again? It looks like it. Ah, hello there. Welcome to the stream. I think you are new to the stream. I don't recognize the name, so welcome. I hope you'll enjoy your stay. How am I enjoying Reverse? Considerably much, considering that I'm 50 parts in on the streams with it. So I'm streaming it for the past 5 months or something like that, and I'm having a great time with it. It's a mainstay for me so far. One of my favorite gachas so far.
Brava, brava.
Krista claps, her chin high with pride. Nice, it's honestly the only monthly thing I get excited for. Well, you are in good company then. I plan on streaming this game for the foreseeable future, and I'm preparing to make some lore videos on it soon-ish in the nondescript future, because that was always my plan with gachas that I stream. So most likely I will start with lore videos for Reverse in the end. I also stream other gachas and other games, but every week I have 3 streams of Reverse. Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I'm low-key embarrassed by how much I order this game. No reason to be embarrassed. Honestly, it's very high quality when it comes to production values. The voice acting is great, music is great, illustrations are very high quality, and honestly, I'm enjoying the gameplay more than I expected it to enjoy it. I'm usually not big on deck building games, and turn-based RPG games are hit or miss with me, but I'm having great fun with this one, somehow. It's varied enough to keep me occupied. I'm a big... excuse me. I've choked a bit on my drink. I'm a big enjoyer of history and unbiased narratives that don't hold your hand and condescend about your moral issues. I've been playing since Nightmare at Green Lake, so I like 1.2. So like 1.2. Wow, nice. So you are basically from the first year of the game. I've heard good things about the Nightmare on the Green Lake event, and I'm planning on streaming it eventually, but I don't have schedule for that one yet. Gotta find some time to stream it eventually. I almost didn't try it. I do not like card stuff. Same with me. I expected to trudge through the gameplay for the story and lore, but honestly, I'm having great fun building teams in this game. I had other gachas before that I played only for the story, for the setting and for the world. For example, Nikkei, where the gameplay is very tetrary for me. But here, I'm liking everything so far. There's no single thing that I can complain for about, at least nothing that's important, honestly. My cousin got me started on HSR, then I tried WUWA and ZZZ. I only play WUWA and this now. I personally play WUWA, Reverse, Enfield, and Nikkei. So a lot of gachas. I did play original Arknights as well for a time, but honestly, the gameplay defeated me in that one. I couldn't trudge through the gameplay part of it. Nice, yeah, I just don't have the bandwidth for anything else. To be honest, neither do I. But for most of those titles, I only log in, do the dailies, log out. But for Nikkei and Enfield and Reverse, I try to do streams. Nikkei I stream occasionally when there is some big event. Reverse I stream regularly, basically every day until I run out of content. Every stream day, I mean. And Enfield I stream every patch. Every patch that comes online, I stream. I'll be streaming the newest 1.4 tomorrow, for example. I've segmented an extra stream day for that. My ADHD and TISM keep me from reading books most of my adult life. These patches feel like entire books I can digest in one sitting. I know the feeling. Personally, I've read a lot of books when I was younger. For a time I've read more than I play games. But I will concur on the statement that this form of a visual novel delivery is easier on people with lower attention spans or shorter attention spans. It's easier to consume that way. It certainly fits my taste. Or non-existent, yes. Okay, going back to the story, because I plan on finishing this sub-story today, hopefully. Krista claps, her chin high with pride. I'm rather good at telling stories, aren't I? Did you notice the connection between the two? They even ended in the same way.
Hmm?
Do you have a favorite patch so far? I haven't seen many of them because I've started... which patch did I start with? I think the one where Paper Heron got introduced on the banner. That was the first patch that I joined in. And I was skipping the story for the main patches that released so far because I expected them to be just spoilers. I can tell you which chapters were my favorites so far, or the events that I streamed. I would say that my favorite story in reverse so far that I played would be... Florid to the Golden City, maybe? Either that, or Chapter 7. Either or. One of these. The follow-up? Oh dear. Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't that playwright tell you what happened next? Not long after, before my father's burial, my mother drowned herself in that shallow pond in our garden.
How pitiful.
Yes, you're right. She went insane and considered death the only means to break free. Oh, I just noticed that you subscribed, or rather followed me on the stream. Thank you for that. For some reason, the noise notification didn't fire for me. So there's that. Okay. Farewell to Rishaki was mine? I don't think I've played that one yet. She'd had enough of this world. It brought her only anguish. To prevent her from hurting herself, Theophil requested her housemate guard her door every night. Well, that didn't seem to work. Krista hops off the table and steps forward. You know, even in utter hysteria, she was Vienna's greatest performer. On the night of her death, she awoke in the midnight, confused. She couldn't remember a thing. She asked the maid for a cup of hot milk and honey and wondered why her throat hurt so much. Why there was wounds on her hands. The maid, Maggie, obliged and rushed to the kitchen to retrieve it for her. In that short time, Evangeline ran across the hallway, down the stairs, through the lounge, and into the garden. I think it's the event that came after the story arc. Then that would be something that I definitely didn't play yet. I'm currently on chapter 9 that I finished. I went back to do the side stories for chapter 5th and chapter 6th and chapter 9th after that, because I didn't know that side stories for those chapters were a thing. I was notified about that by a viewer at some point. And I did like 4 events now? Or 3? Glory to the Golden City. I did as well to others, I think. I'll have to check later to tell you exactly which ones I did. But I'm not that far in when it comes to events. Yeah, unlocking them takes some time. My biggest complaint is that they don't notify you after you're doing your weeklies to collect the Penumbra cans. Well, true, but so far I think I've collected all the cans that I could. So I've unlocked more events that I went through yet. I have some in reserve even unlocked. For example, Nightmare on the Green Lake I have unlocked and not played yet. Oh, I know which event was one of my favorites. The Haunted Highway. That one was amazing. I really liked it. And I played it semi-recently. I really like Tuesday. She's cool. Crazy like a bag of rats, but cool. I realized I was forgetting to climb them for a few weeks, and that made me sad. Well, 07 to the Lost Penumbra cans. Highly recommend Farewell to Ryashki? I don't know how to pronounce that name, honestly. Fair enough. Maybe I'll unlock it at some point. I'll have to see in which point in the storyline it fits, because I'm trying to do this chronologically story-wise regarding events. Okay. In that short time, Evangeline ran across the hallway, down the stairs, through the lounge and into the garden. So she made a speed run of ending herself. Interesting. She didn't stop to look at the clematis, nor did she notice the scent of jasmine in the air. She simply leapt into the pond, crawled over to the pearl shell decorated fountain and curled up like an infant in the water. Okay, that's weird. She reaches out and touches the slightly ajar metal door before her. I'd say it's relatively standalone. It's its own story. Oh, so kind of like Nightmare on the Green Lake. Fair enough. Maybe I'll just write it down as something to find time to stream eventually then. This door doesn't belong to Mr. Carl. You can tell because the bloodstained and it's bloodstained and there's a shining dagger hanging on it. All the women in our family have met the same end, and Evangeline was no exception. The Golden Rabbits have shown me far too many stories of how my ancestors' lives tragically ended. I have no interest in retelling them. He pushes the door shut. The next morning, when Evangeline's body was discovered in the pond, my little sister fell to the ground, twitching and howling like a drowned cat. On that day, the hysteria that once haunted my mother well and truly manifested itself in my sister. I'm still not clear whether or not this is just a hereditary medical condition or arcane bullshittery that haunts the family generation after generation. Could be either, could be both, honestly. Trista smiles and strokes the face of that she shares with her sister. Do you remember what I said? That my little sister isn't a real actress?
No.
Well, that's not true.
Or rather, not entirely true. She is, in a way, the most superb actress and liar that I've ever seen. Just a pity that she did it so well. No one could recognize her talent. Krista steps back, melting into the shadow just as she had appeared from it.
Did you see that door?
There's another door. You should take a look. Go find it. It's right by you. Go on. Look for it. I assure you, it's there.
Okay, that's another part done. We are at part 7, so 2 parts left. At worst, I'll extend the stream by some minutes to do the last part, because I want to finish it all in one go. We'll have to see. I don't need a long break today, I suppose. Okay, let's jump into next part. 7th ordinary door. After a brief search, you find the door. A door of distress. There are white candles burning beside it. You hear the whimpering sobs of someone's friends and family. A door of warmth. There are birds perched on it. They are chirping cheerfully. You push the door. It opens. The Ditastov's house seems quieter than usual. Those who pass by do so hurriedly, lest some of its misfortune rub off on them. Well, no surprise there.
Isolde.
Isolde, I'm so sorry. If you ever need someone or anything, I'm right here for you. Call me anytime. The company and support of friends are most important, especially during this time. And if you feel uncomfortable at home, you are more than welcome to stay in my clinic.
Right, and that's how the toxic dependency on Kakania starts. He turns back to Isolde, who is standing by the gate. She is as elegant and upright as always, her body slender, her face pale, her eyes black.
Thank you for your concern.
Thank you, Kakania.
It's alright.
I'll be fine. You needn't worry about me.
After a brief silence, she casts her eyes down.
Yeah.
The Ditastov's family needs me as a hostess more than ever. My reputation is worthless at the moment. Given the circumstances of his death, Delphil's body is unsuitable to be displayed at the wake. So Mr. Carl suggested we bury him sooner so he may rest in peace rather than painfully linger in this world. The maids are packing his things. A third of his paintings will be buried with him. As for the financial disputes between himself and his models, they remain to be solved. And I...
She hesitates, looking to the decorated iron gate of the Ditastov's house. Its recent neglect has allowed the dirt to grow in its crevices.
I'm the last living Ditastov, Miss Kakania. It falls to me to shoulder our burdens. I can't live like this. I can't let my wandering womb control me anymore. The fainting, the convulsions, those visceral disturbances. I will not allow myself to become some horrifying lunatic.
Isolde.
Isolde. I've decided to accept Dr. Schwartz's treatment.
And you shouldn't have, honestly. Isolde raises her head and gives Kakanya a smile.
Times are different now. New treatments are emerging day by day. I'm sure he'll find a way to help me.
Unfortunately, most of those treatments, well, were created by quacks and frauds.
Yes.
Kakanya remains silent. Finally, she lets out a sigh.
I really don't think Schwartz is the best doctor for you. You are Detastov, for goodness sake, not some commoner. He's only trying to use your status to gain profit and attention. That's why he insisted the treatment process to be open to the public.
Probably.
But as your friend, I respect your decision, and I completely understand why you choose to accept the treatment. Just know that you have the right to stop him at any time, please, Isolde. As soon as you feel any discomfort, any pain, promise me you'll tell him to stop.
Well, that would be immediately, wouldn't it be? Electroshocks are pretty uncomfortable and painful from the very start, aren't they?
Can I do that? Every living person has the right to express their discomfort.
No, I think...
But it's possible that, under circumstances, you'll be unable to stop him.
Kanya rubs her chin, immersed in thought. Then her eyes light up.
Don't worry.
Of course, the presentation is open to all, so I can be there too. I'll sit in the audience and keep a close eye on you. If things get out of control, I'll stop him.
So we are getting closer to the timeline of the chapter itself, of the start of it, effectively. Kanya's face looks considerably brighter with this idea. Her voice is as clear and colorful as a parrot's. Isolde listens quietly, chuckling from time to time at Kanya's chattering.
Certainly. There's no need to worry.
Thank you, Miss Kakanya. You are a great friend.
Isolde looks at her, her eyes twinkling. A pink blush rises on her pale cheeks. She steps closer to Kakanya and fixes her collar, as she has done countless times before.
By the way, when you were in the house just now, did you notice a door?
A door? Puzzled, her eyes dart from Isolde to the gate and back.
What kind of door? Just an ordinary door. There's nothing special about it.
Huh? She blinks in confusion.
You
I don't
mean...
get it, Isolde. There are many doors through your home. Which one are you referring to?
Nothing. Forget it. It's not important.
Having dealt with the collar, Isolde pulls back her hands and steps back behind the gate.
Getting late. We should head home. Oh my. Is that the time? You're right. I should go. I have a patient. I mean, a visitor. Who requires the help of my witchcraft. Thanks for reminding me. Then I shall take my leave.
Lowering her hat, Kakanya leaves with her suitcase in hand. She quickly blends into the crowd. The maid steps forward and starts to close the huge metal gate.
Miss Kakanya, wait.
Isolde's voice sings out above the squeaking of the gate. She notices the green feathers in Kakanya's hat flick in the crowd.
Yes, you called me?
Yeah.
If Dr. Schwartz's therapy doesn't work, could you please treat me?
Of course.
Of course.
Agreed.
You're always welcome.
Well, Kakania's treatments weren't perfect either, but they were better than Schwartz's, that's for sure. Now the feathers jiggle cheerfully. Kakania swims against the current, returning to the gate.
Isolde!
You are my greatest friend in all Vienna. I'll be more happy than happy to help you.
Alright, another part done. And now for the last one. We should be able to finish this just in time. Hey, a golden key. Hopefully it won't be an excessively long part, like some of them.
I have a small room. It has a simple door. The room is cramped. It's a truly tiny little room. But beside that simple door, there are many other doors in this room. Big ones, small ones, hard ones, soft ones. Mushy and wet ones. Warm and furry ones.
Furry ones? Are you sure about that?
They are in front of me. They are behind me. There are so many of them, and more keep coming. They squeeze me.
I feel like the character stories shorten up as you start to feel them dragging on. The last few notes tend to be pretty short. Honestly, you might be right on that. I've noticed that as well. The backstories are usually long-ish at the very start. So maybe it will be the case here as well.
Do you know how that feels? To be squeezed by many doors?
Isolde turns her eyes to you.
I suppose no one in the world has felt what it's like. No one would ever place so many doors in one room.
I'm guessing this is a metaphor for her mental state, effectively.
Door after door lies on me, compressing me until my skin, my flesh, my bones squeak under the pressure. I'm enveloped by endless pain, as if my flesh is being torn from my skeleton. When I was a little girl, I read a story about a princess who tried to sleep on 100 layers of mattresses, yet was still kept awake by a single pea beneath them. My father called her the true embodiment of a princess. Good maiden with a noble virtue, the most delicate skin in the world. He said that I should be such a lady, most sensitive, both sensitive and polite.
Don't know why I started on that so much.
But am I that princess? Or that bothersome little pea under 100 mattresses?
Come to think of it, before I've met Tuesday, Isolde was one of my favorite characters that I've met in those chapters. So before the event with Tuesday, I would say that Isolde was my previous favorite character. She's in my top 5 as well. Don't know why I'm attracted to all the crazy girls. I might be broken. You got out crazy. Correct. Isabeth is my favorite, I think. I don't recall that character. Don't know if I met her yet. I adore Lilia. Yeah, Lilia is great. But Lilia is great in that older sister vibe kind of way. She kind of reminds me of my older sister, in a way.
Baby, my child, my darling. Mother hugged me, as she always did when overtaken with despair. Theophil had grown up and Trista was long gone, so I was her only choice. She's from 2.7, I think? Cosmic Overture. Oh, that event. Another superb event patch, some of the best music. I do have it unlocked. I recall that it was recently rerun and I went through it on skip to get the rewards, but I unlocked it through the cans, so it's in the back pocket waiting to be played. Eventually I'll get to it. Can't promise when though. There's so many events to go through, Jesus Christ. But hey, it's good. At least I won't run out of content anytime soon. It's a problem with Enfield for me, that I run out of content completely and I only come back to it every patch or so. Brace yourself for more heartbreak? Oh, don't worry. I came from Nikkei. I'm accustomed to stories that are destroying my heart and mind. This is my bread and butter. I'm hardened to tragedies and depression already. It's nice to feel something, yes. Correct. The day prior, her hysteria had burst out at a banquet, making her shame all the more potent. That's why she came to my room and held me close.
Listen, child.
You must always remember Mama's words. Don't you ever forget. You have to be careful. Don't allow others to see your vulnerability. Don't cry, don't scream, don't lose control. Don't make a fool of yourself. Your true self is filthy. Reveal it and it will hurt you, even kill you. That's a horrible advice. Honestly. Repressing yourself endlessly will kill you more surely than a knife or a gun. Honestly. And Evangeline herself is the best example of it. In a sense. Her hands squeezed my arms, quivering. I couldn't help but quiver with her. It will only make you suffer. Keep you from your dreams and plunge you into nightmares.
Oh, this is terrifying.
It's a most frightful, terrible beast. And it will tear you apart. Just as it tore me, and your grandmother, and your great-grandmother. You must conceal it, Isolde. Not one girl in our cursed family has been able to survive in this world without doing so. You must follow the rules of society. I didn't fully comprehend what she meant back then. Curses, rules, concealment. It was all too complicated for a 4-year-old child. Yeah, trauma dumping on a 4-year-old sounds cruel. So I asked her what it meant, what I should do. The only character I don't have is Igor? Wow, that's impressive. You mean from pulled characters? That's a lot of characters. I don't think... No, wait. I do have similar record in one game, in Enfield. In Enfield I have like 90% of operators. I didn't get Mifu. And I think that's it. I got every other character so far. I think so, at least. Reverse has blessed me with insane luck, and they are super generous. Yes, true. From the gachas that I tried, I would say that Reverse is the second most generous gacha that I played. The first being Nikkei. It just showers you with pulls, and it has incredible rates to begin with.
but reverse is a close second. Anyway, I'm not complaining with my pulls in reverse so far. I managed to create two fairly strong teams already, despite being a noob that just started a couple months ago. I have a full plant prompto team and a full poison team based around that girl from the last event. What was her name? Ramona, right. So I asked her what it meant. What should I do? There was a long silence before Mother spoke, so long that I almost fell asleep in her arms. In my semi-dreamlike state, I heard my mother's voice. It was soft and distant, as if floating down from a cloud.
That's right.
So you must learn to play a role in life, my little Isolde. She brushed my hair with her fingers, her face twisted in agony.
Stop trauma dumping on a 4-year-old, ma'am. This is not healthy. Neither for you or nor for her.
She had been dancing in this pair of hot iron shoes for over 20 years, and in this moment she presented them to me.
Of course.
You must learn to know what people expect from you. Then do everything you can to meet those expectations.
Keep in mind.
You'll have to work harder than anyone else to satisfy the people around you, so as to make the tolerance of you worthwhile. Smile despite your suffering and breakdowns, and walk steadily. Even if your feet are crippled, even if the road ahead seems fine to others, but in ruins to you. She cupped my face in hands, kissing my forehead and cheeks. Her tears fell on my face like rain. She was in so much pain, for me and for herself. It was terrifying to wear that pair of burning iron shoes like that. But it was the only way our ancestors survived. It was the only way we would survive. And that was the first time I saw a door. It was small and blue, just the right size for a child like me to pass through. It squeezed into my room like a cat squeezes through a crack in a door. Eventually, I fell asleep in my mother's arms. So, are those doors manifestations of damaged psyche of Isolde? Effectively? An allegory for This is a difficult word to say. Compartmentalization. Right? That's how you say it? Compartmentalization? I think? Of problems? It was not the door to the small room.
Mind your posture, child.
100 times, that's right. Scoop up the soup 100 times. It was then that I saw the second door. You've done well, my child. See, your hands have stopped shaking. Mr. Carl stood by that door. His figure was formidable. I kept my distance. I didn't like Mr. Carl. No wonder. I respected him, but I feared him. He seemed so tall to me, grander than a palace, more oppressive than a mountain. He haunted my every nightmare. In those nightmares, he was an entrance to a white, luxurious ballroom. It was filled with faceless people, all staring at me silently. Right, he was the symbol of other people's expectations of her, effectively. Okay.
Sometimes I was disheveled, barefoot or naked, but I was always scrambling to cover myself up, to hide my shame. It's the door to the Didastov's house, and I am the last remaining Didastov. It is mine alone. Of course, it's in the room. It isn't the door to the small room either. Literature, art, poetry, stage design, models, romance. I've never paid much attention to the conversations, but these words summarize the majority of the topics.
You mean...
Oh, what do you think, Heinrich? Theophil is an enthusiastic and perhaps kind-hearted person. He understood himself to be a noble man and a brother. I cannot deny that he fulfilled his obligations, nor can I deny his foolishness. He spent his days indulging in his pleasures with blissful decadence. He brought me gifts, like Meyer's hounds brought his... like Meyer's hounds brought hers its prey. Okay. And his eyes glittered just like the hounds did. I would thank him and take the gifts, which greatly inspired him to go on the hunt once more. And I'm sure you can tell he was easily pleased. He had a simple relationship. Hey, why don't we start an organization then, together? I just thought of an excellent name. Is Heinrich a friend of mine or my brother? How did we even come to be friends? Our parents were close. He and Theophil grew up together. It spent long holidays on each other's estate. Since we were children. How time had flown. That little chatterbox had become taller than I am. His fervor for conversation, although sometimes grating, was not without benefit. However, he introduced me to many new faces.
Of course. Agreed.
That's a superb name. I'd love to join. But weren't we told that Clara, or rather Kakania, started that organization named The Circle? Now we are told that it was Heinrich? Interesting. It was he who introduced me to her, my new friend.
My Salome, my muse.
What can I say about her? My mother's therapist, the gardener, and Maggie, the maid, were all her and her father's moles. Right. Who picked up the trash bags of old handkerchiefs, worn pajamas, and dirty bed sheets that were left outside the gate? Who ate the dead rabbit that signaled my birth? I beg your finest pardon? We were told that she was obsessed, but that's a little bit much. Like, wow. Holy hell. Does the answer really matter? They were quiet, sincere even. They made no demands, no requests. Like a pebble lying at the bottom of a river, in the gaps of a railroad. They lived in their own world. They couldn't even stir up a wave, let alone become the straw that broke the camel's back. They impacted no one. But still, when Mr. Carl's ballroom pressed upon me, so too did she slip into my shoe. Small stone, a perpetual annoyance compounding my great pain. My muse. It's just as father said. Be generous, my daughter.
It is an honor that they love you so much. Be lenient. Let them be.
Slumber, slumber, oh my darling baby.
Sleep, my darling, safe and sound. This is how her story should end, don't you think?
My darling baby, Trista, is old.
I keep hearing things.
My heart is broken. My joints are screaming. No, not my joints, my spleen. Feels as though it's ruptured. And there are a million voices shouting in my head. What should I do? What should I do? You need to help me. No. Who can help me?
She was in so much distress, so much pain. My mother, my Evangeline. She could no longer hold her baby. She could no longer live in the illusion of a forever young upper strudel and bloom. She was like an overfilled glass of wine that finally spilled over, staining the clothes of everyone at the table.
This is salvation, my dear, dear. The water is filthy. Just breathing is torturous.
When she dreamed about Trista, when she saw that sweet smile again, when she relived her death, Mother found the exit of her life. The door to freedom opened before her, and she was far too kind to leave behind her husband and mates. Really. Evangeline followed Trista. Theophil followed Evangeline. It's interesting that she considered it a mercy, quote unquote, to take the lives of her husband and mates, but she didn't do anything to Isolde. She left her alone. She just ended herself instead. One in water, one in fire. They ended their lives. Not only had the curse taken Evangeline, but also the two remaining men of the Ditterstov family. The curse that had once only plagued my mother's family had truly taken over all the Ditterstovs. People started looking at me with pitiful and prying eyes. Of course, they would gaze at the tragic but wealthy and well-bred girl like that. Especially those who had sons of marriageable age.
Isolde.
Oh, my poor
child.
Isolde. Why is this happening to you? First your father, then your mother, and now Theophil. Mr. Carl wiped his tears with a white hanky, his face ruddy and full, like a peach. The sincerity of his response made him almost charming. Was he always this way? Where was that stern, harsh gentleman from my memory? I thanked him, I consoled him, and I shook his hand. This was the Carl my father saw, wasn't it? I was an adult then, who was treating me as such.
Isolde.
Isolde, are you alright?
Luckily, there were some more welcome visitors. A different kind of a friend who stood by my side, a sincere, worried expression on her face.
Yes.
Call me anytime, no matter how late it is. Don't hesitate, alright? By the way, when you were in the house just now, did you notice a door?
You mean...
A door? What kind of a door?
Right.
It's a door. One of the most common types. No one would notice it when placed in such a big and magnificent mansion.
It appeared on the evening of my 13th birthday. I vomited on my bed that night. I couldn't digest all that cake and roast chicken. My stomach hurt. Those wandering spirits bent over me, making funny faces and silently clapping as I heaved up my dinner. The guests downstairs were waiting for me. I had to get myself together to go back and thank everyone for celebrating my birthday with me. But I was too tired. I haven't had a good night's sleep in months. And that was when I came up with the idea.
Yeah.
I invited the spirits to fall upon me, whether they were willing or not. Huh? I utilized the spirits' proficiencies to do what I couldn't do alone. They helped me flatter my guests, behave well, sing and dance, read and write literature. They aided me in everything. Right, so she decided at that point to use possession by spirits as proxies for herself. Effectively. And I was able to rest. I was finally able to rest.
Living through proxy, effectively. Teofil's funeral is over. More than half of the servants have been let go. Mrs. Detastov says she needs some time alone and refuses to receive any visitors. Isolde crosses the living room, walking straight to the sideboard.
Maggie isn't home, so there's no one to take care of Bloom, Upper Strudel, and Nightgale and Swan.
She opens the drawer and takes out a metal box of arsenic powder. It has been the most deadly poison since the time of ancient Rome until today.
They are my responsibility now. Here, Upper Strudel, Bloom, come have some.
Wait, what? So they were feeding the bunnies poison? They were basically killing them? Why? She carries the box over to the tea table by the window and places the box on it.
Be graceful, be self-restrained, and be kind to others.
She tilts the teapot and watches the tea flow into the cup.
Be compassionate, especially towards the less privileged.
It's alright.
There's nothing to be afraid of. You have the right to leave this ruined world. We must be an example for our people. Oh dear, you're twitching. It's alright, I'll hold you. We must.
Isolde drops her eyes. The arsenic powder dissolves in the hot tea as if it had never existed. She raises the teacup and slightly lowers her head.
We must be virtuous and dignified, as befits our status, Teofil.
In the teacup, her charred brother gazes at her sorrowfully. Huh?
How careless I am. I almost forgot the date today.
She raises her head and throws the teacup over her shoulder, splashing her brother's face on the floor. Huh. She picks up her coat from the hanger and walks towards the porch, muttering to herself.
Yeah.
My new doctor, my Kakanya. My Dr. Kakanya.
So she was completely disconnected from reality at this point, effectively. Already.
Oh, it appears I've arrived a little early.
It is good etiquette for a lady to arrive early to an appointment.
It's alright.
That's alright, I can wait. I have patience. Mrs. Kakanya. I suppose I should call her Dr. Kakanya from now on.
She looks at the closed door.
There's no sign of there's no sign indicating that this is the consultation room. Oh right, she doesn't have a medical license. So she's painted the door discolored so that the patients can tell where she is. Oh, very clever. As she waits, Isolde murmurs softly to herself. There are so many doors in this world. Is Dr. Kanya a door too? What kind of door would she be, I wonder? Would it be green or shining like silk? Perhaps. She is interrupted by a familiar voice.
Isolde!
Isolde?
Oops, sorry.
Sorry, I'm late. Kekania trots over to her, a lively green skirt swaying with each step. I was delayed. You know what I'm like? I swear I'd planned to return earlier to ensure this doesn't happen. This is our first consultation after all. Oh, I so wanted to have a good start to our doctor-patient relationship. I'm really, really sorry. Really very sorry. Have you been waiting for long?
Yes.
Are you tired? Oh, I shouldn't have kept you waiting under the sun. As Kakania continues her apologies, she pulls a golden key with a green ribbon from her waist. A golden key to the golden lock on the door. She inserts it and turns it. The door opens.
Don't worry.
Alright, come on in. I'll fetch you a cup of tea. Kanya enters the side room. Isolde can see her cheerful green dress reflected in the corner of the mirror as she busies herself with the tea.
I'm looking forward to it.
So she acted normal around Kakania for a time. There she is, reflected in the Wingler's mirror, the daughter of a mirror seller, Clara Dr. Kakania. She's not a door. I was wrong. Very wrong. She's a key. The key that will finally unlock my door. You can read that very differently, but sure. I told you they were roommates. At least that was the intention of Isolde at the very least. Okay, so we are finished with backstory for Isolde. Got all the rewards. And that will be it for today for Reverse 1999, I suppose. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what will be the following event for Wednesday. Let me check the schedule. Right, we'll be continuing the side event for Marcus on Wednesday. So that will be Wednesday and Friday, probably, because I doubt that I'll be able to do it in one go. And for the next week, we'll have to see. Probably I'll go back to the main story, finally, because we went on a tangent with side stories for a while now, doing side content and whatnot. I forgot what was happening in the chapter 9 by now. I remember that we were in South America. I remember that Igor rebelled. I remember that... Alright, we got Anjonala as a new pet for Vertin. So there's that. Another girl adopted. But I'll have to refresh myself on the details of chapter 9 before we go back to the main story, I think. Anyway, that will be it for today. Thank you for watching if you did. If you missed anything from my stream, I recommend going to my YouTube channel, which is linked in the description on Twitch. Also available through the exclamation YouTube command in chat. The upcoming schedule for this week is available on my Discord server, also linked in the description on Twitch and on YouTube channel. And I'll be taking an hour break now, something close to an hour, maybe a little bit less, and I'll be back around 6 p.m. GMT plus 1 time zone wise with another Cyberpunk 2077 stream. So that will be the next and last stream of today. Again, thanks for watching and see you around in